Unit 9A4 is a mixed bag. I've got a whole bunch of different tools that you might find in a video production studio, and I'm going to cover each of these tools briefly. In a video studio, we'll use a variety of backdrops. This particular backdrop is a green screen. A green screen, as you might know, is useful for deleting the background from video. If we shoot a subject in front of this green screen, and if we light the green screen very carefully, and if we're skillful in our post-production, then we can delete the color green and then insert whatever kind of different background we'd like behind our subject. So this green screen will allow us to delete the background and replace it with anything else we want behind our subject. We don't have to use the color green. We could also use what's called video blue as a standard background color for deleting the background, but in the digital world that most of us edit in now, any solid color can be removed from the background. All you have to have is a background color that does not appear anywhere on the subject. So if the subject is wearing green, then we wouldn't want to use a green screen because deleting the green would also delete that part of the subject's clothes. So we just want to pick a background color that is different from any color that the subject happens to be wearing. This is a teleprompter. A teleprompter usually connects to the front of a camera, and a teleprompter is a clear pane of glass, and the camera lens is behind that glass. We can't see it in this case because of a reflection, but here is a computer screen, and then whatever's on this computer screen gets mirrored onto the teleprompter, and it looks, and so what we put on the teleprompter screen is text. The teleprompter is used for reading text off of the glass so that as you're reading the text, you look like you're looking directly into the camera. The subject or the anchor, the person reading into the camera, sees the text mirrored on the screen, but the camera sees the subject looking directly into the camera. So we, the audience, as a result, don't see that the subject is reading off of the glass. Instead, we just see them looking directly into the camera. It's a nice trick for allowing the newscaster in a broadcast to look straight into the camera for the whole duration of the broadcast, but actually be reading off of a screen. A teleprompter requires you to write your script in advance so that you can load it into the teleprompter software on this computer and then mirror it up onto the screen. And also a teleprompter operator is a skilled person who actually scrolls the text during the reading and goes slow or fast depending on the reader and depending what's on the text in order to allow the reader to smoothly and easily read the text at a natural pace from the screen. There is actually a couple of devices together here, and I'll talk about each one separately. The one you probably recognize is this tripod right here. A tripod simply is a device with 3 legs, useful for holding a camera steady. We don't want to get wobbly video. In the professional world, any time the camera is stationary, it needs to be on a tripod to keep it stable. We can't hand hold a camera and keep it perfectly stationary unless we have a very expensive device mounted to our body, usually with some gyroscopes that will hold the camera perfectly steady. So we use a tripod. Mounted on top of the tripod is the head. This one is a video head that's designed to give smooth panning and tilting action for the camera. A nice video head will prevent you from having a jerky movement as you adjust the tripod during a shot. At the base of this tripod is the dolly. The dolly has these 3 wheels. It's like a little cart that the camera can roll on, and a dolly is used to, well, like I said, roll that camera forward, which is called dollying in, or rolling it backward, which is called dollying out, and of course you can roll side to side as well. So tripod, head, and dolly all go together to provide a pretty simple and basic mount for a camera. Sometimes a tripod is too big and heavy to fit into a small space, or you're in otherwise some kind of difficult conditions where you just can't work with a tripod. In that case, a monopod might be good enough. This particular monopod can telescope out. We just release these handles and it can get pretty tall, and the camera simply mounts to the top. You can't get the kind of stability from a monopod that you get from a tripod, but it can get some kind of jobs done in a quick fashion. This is a century stand. Sometimes you'll hear it called a C-stand. So a century stand is just an all-purpose convenient tool. It's got 3 tripod legs and a nice solid stand, and then it can be telescoped up. And on the century stand you can attach booms, poles, clamps. They're good for holding up backdrops. They're good for steadying sets. They're good for even holding cameras sometimes or suspending lights from them. It's just a good all-purpose tool to have in a video studio to give you ways of holding things in place. Here's a sandbag. This is simply what it says, a bag filled with sand. It's good and heavy. You can use this to hold down sets, to tie things down. You can put it on top of a sentry stand legs or a tripod's legs to really give it a more security, hold it in position. Sandbags are good for just temporarily holding something down that you don't want to slip. This is gaffers tape. Gaffers tape comes in a variety of colors, and you use it similar to a sandbag to just hold stuff in place. Sometimes you got to tape a bit of a set or a backdrop or a little bit of a screen that's come loose. Sometimes you tape up some cords in order to keep them still. You might tape over cords to keep people from tripping them on the floor. And you might have a variety of colors of gaffers tape in case you need them to blend into the set or not be visible on the camera. Any good gaffer has got a bunch of these ready because you never know when you're going to need to lay down some tape. A lot of the terms that we use for tools in video production come to us from the film industry. The film industry had been around for a much longer amount of time since before video production. In film, many years ago, they ran into the problem that some actors are taller than others, but you need people to look the same height on camera. So when you need to adjust the height between two different people, you just have someone stand on an apple box and someone else not stand on an apple box. Originally, back in the day, apple boxes really were apple boxes. There's a lot of apple orchards in California near Los Angeles where apple boxes just came in handy. But today, apple boxes are made by companies that make very reliable professional apple boxes in a variety of standard sizes, such as these, for adjusting the height of actors. And today's apple boxes are safe, not going to break, very sturdy and reliable.